This is an R Media podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Luxaflex, transforming homes with functional window coverings designed to shape your light and your lifestyle. This episode was brought to you by Oz Design. Style your space and make every room feel effortlessly welcoming.
You know, a lot of students that graduate need to understand you can't just walk into that amazing job. It sometimes just doesn't exist. Just be like a sponge, absorb things, and it's okay to start at the bottom and work your way up. And actually, sometimes people respect that more.
So would you advise to people who are either working in interior design or wanting to get into it to look at complementary studies and skills?
Absolutely. Like, I also think working with, lots of different people in the industry, you need to see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be like that in life, 100%.
Who would have thought interior design is not just about the cushion plumping?
No, absolutely not.
It's about the cushion fill.
It's about the cushion fill, you know. Or there's different interior designers that like to whack their cushions. Are you a cushion whacker?
How do you feel about the chop?
No, I'm not a chopper. It's funny. I'm just not a chopper. I don't know.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to be an interior designer, this episode is for you. Hello and welcome to The Edit, a new show all about your style and your sanctuary. We've got a great human and very personal story today from interior designer Lauren, a fave of Home Beautiful. I'm Elle Lovelock, editor of Home Beautiful, inviting you on a unique journey today. We're stepping inside the home and the heart of brilliant Lauren Mahoney, an interior designer whose personal style is as inspiring as her professional expertise. Get ready for an audio stroll through Lauren's own space. She's revealing the essence of her creative soul. Then stay tuned for a listener dilemma and expert tips on how to navigate design decisions, whether you're hiring a pro or crafting your own dream room. Your home. Welcome to The Edit, a brand new podcast from Home Beautiful. Well, a warm welcome, Lauren, back to The Edit. We just can't get enough of you.
Oh, thank you for having me again, Elle, and thank you to Home Beautiful.
A pleasure.
It's lovely to be back here.
Oh, I'm glad.
Talking to you about maybe my doorbells again.
Oh, always a favourite. I think that will be. We could just talk for hours. And last time we covered interior design and just like a one-on-one, it was a one-on-one, a 101 on how people can work with interior designers. But today, at the risk of embarrassing you, I want to find out more about who you are and how you became an interior designer. So let's go back to the beginning, actually.
Yeah, a long time ago.
What was your childhood like? What were you like as a kid? What was the house like where you grew up?
So do you know what, Elle? I actually grew up in Western Sydney. That's probably why I'm very down to earth.
I love it.
In a normal Australian house. My mum and dad, my father's Australian, my mother's actually Maltese. My mother came over here in the 50s on a boat after World War II.
Wow.
And she's one of 12 children. So I actually have a huge European family.
Yeah.
And so everybody talks over the top of everybody.
Yep.
Are you hungry? Do you want to eat? No, I'm not hungry. I don't want
anyway.
food. Eat anyway. So that's kind of my upbringing. I have one brother, just super normal. And
What was your house like?
like my parents, I wouldn't say that they were into interior design, but they're both very creative people.
Yeah.
Just a really kind of modern sort of house, nothing flash. But my parents, very artistic. My father's really into music, and my mother, she's amazing at like knitting. She always enters into the Easter show every year.
Oh.
Amazing at cooking, and I just had this very kind of like bit creative type upbringing. From a young age, I was always drawing. My brother was as well, and my father was amazing at drawing.
Did you draw bedroom plans? Because I used to.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah?
When I was a kid, I used to flick through all the IKEA catalogues and circle the furniture and bits that I wanted, and I used to draw floor plans for my bedroom. And
Yeah, we were sort of like that. Exactly. Like Mum and I used to go out to like Home World and like
heaven.
oh my goodness, and look at like all the project homes everywhere. We just used to love doing that. So I think I had this like I used to feed off that and kind of go, oh, they need to fix this or do this or change that.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. Even some of my friends I used to hang out with, we used to pretend that we were going to get married in our early 20s and have that house at Home World. So it was actually quite funny. So I just always very interested in like houses, and I was always drawing and painting. Yeah, when I first left school, I actually wanted to be a graphic designer.
What changed?
So I did that for about a year, and I was like, I don't think that's for me. And then I thought I'd go and do fine art. So I tried that for a little while, and then I was like, no, that's not for me. And then I saw a job actually advertised working for an interior designer in Beecroft, and then that actually is how I launched my career. I was like literally 18, 19 years of age. Mm-hmm. So I actually ended up answering the phones for him being a receptionist. And then I ended up kind of studying, part-time and while I was working for him. And I ended up working with him for about 4.5, 5 years, and we were a busy residential design company.
What an education.
And it was like I learned everything from the ground up and just ended up putting schemes together for him and, doing administration and things like that. And that's actually what kind of launched my career. So I've been in this for since I was a kid, pretty much. And from there, pretty much, I went and worked in fabric. So I did a stint for a while. I worked for like Colfax and Fowler, Manual Canvas, Jane Churchill.
God, the dream.
I know. When I kind of wanted to get out of that, I thought I'm going to go try fabrics for a little while.
Put me in a room full of fabric swatches, and I'm a happy gal.
So I have a huge affiliation for fabrics. And then I went and ended up working for another designer in Northbridge, and that's pretty much actually where I stayed for many, many years. And, did some extra study in business and things like that.
What would you say you've learnt from all of that if you were to advise someone wanting to be an interior designer? Because it's quite unusual, I think, to have someone studying and working in the field at the same time.
100%. Like, it's not for everybody because I was pretty burnt out when I was doing that. But what a lot of, students that graduate need to understand, you can't just walk into that amazing job. It just sometimes it sometimes just doesn't exist, and sometimes actually starting at the bottom and kind of working in admin or support or as a junior actually is the best experience because you're seeing it live hand and you're able to assist and to really actually understand how things operate. So I think having that sort of background really taught me to be made of strong stuff. Having sort of, I guess, being a bit more like hands-on really has actually set me up for life. And then I sort of decided to buy that business and then run that business from 28 years of age. So I've been doing it for a really long time. There's nothing else I know. And I think you're always learning. I might be in my 40s, but you're constantly learning from people every day.
So interior design, it's the big picture, but also the details. And you said before you were choosing fill for cushions.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with finding the right fill for cushions. It makes all the difference. What do you choose?
So, look, we like to use feather for scatter cushions. However, the biggest golden rule of feather is because it can tend to, got to get a really good person that makes feather. But what happens is feather can tend to, sort of pat down or not sort of stay plump. And you constantly have to kind of plump it up. So the general rule of thumb is, say that you've got like a 50 centimetre by 50 centimetre scatter cushion, then you order a 55 by 55 centimetre insert. So that's why it always will stay plump and gorgeous. So we go up 5 centimetres more in our scatter cushions.
No one likes a limp cushion.
No, they don't. But I have some. That's so true. No, out.
It looks stingy. It's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. And also too, I've had clients that don't like feather. They want like polyester. And again, you have to, with polyester, usually order 10 centimetres bigger. So polyester's 10 centimetres bigger, so that actually can really fill the cushion very well.
Okay, good to know.
That also can collapse.
5 centimetres bigger, poly 10 centimetres bigger.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're going to use this.
Yeah, 100%.
Who would have thought interior design is not just about the cushion plumping?
No, absolutely not.
It's about the cushion fill.
It's about the cushion fill, Or there's different interior designers that like to whack their cushions. Are you a cushion whacker?
How do you feel about the chop?
No, I'm not a chopper. It's funny. I'm just not a chopper. I don't know. I'm just not a chopper. I'm not a cushion chopper. I like to just have them sort of perfect and I like them a little bit sort of snuggly.
Sometimes I lose myself a bit on set and I'll going for a chop and there's always someone who goes, don't do that.
Don't do that. So, there's just two different types of people in this world, choppers or not choppers.
I'm sorry, I'm a chopper.
Are you a chopper?
I know, I'm so embarrassed, but I am.
So you're a cushion chopper, Elle.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. That's so
I'm going to
funny.
rehab, I know. Coming up next, a really juicy dilemma from one of you. And Lauren and I just go mad for fabrics. See you soon. When it comes to creating a home that feels calm, beautiful, and uniquely yours, light plays a key role. Luxaflex offers a range of custom window coverings that don't just elevate your interiors. They help you control a space with light. From soft sheers that diffuse sunlight to smart blinds that move at the touch of a button. Every Luxaflex product is made with quality craftsmanship and thoughtful design. Discover how Luxaflex can transform the way you live and enjoy your home every day. Visit luxaflex.com.au to explore the full collection or visit your local showroom today. Before we go on, here's what Paula, a leading expert from Oz Design, is noticing right now in inspiring trends for your home in the year to come. How do you make a trend your own?
Yeah, that's a good one. Look, I think going back to that sense of personal style, you really need to understand who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that you can't just jump on a trend and use it if you're not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I think you've got to embrace things that make you feel like yourself.
Yes.
And so it might be you go, I'm really ready to have a really big trend change, and it might be that you've moved into a new apartment or you're restyling your living space, and so that could be a sofa, and it could take you away from a boxy square sofa to a beautiful curved piece, a really interesting swivel chair that adds to that sense of homeliness and conversation. If you're in the kitchen or the living, and you can spin around and speak to anyone. So it could be a big piece like that, or it could be simply a rug change, or adding in new photo frames in a marble or travertine finish.
Course.
So it doesn't have to be big all the time.
No.
But it's got to be a trend that really makes you feel comfortable and probably builds on the look that you've already created.
And you don't have to follow the trend. If it's really not you, it's okay to say, this isn't for me, because
Absolutely.
there isn't just one trend at a time, is there?
Oh my gosh, I could probably rattle off 10, 15 trends that that exist, and it can be anything from shape. It can be texture. It can be colour. It could be pattern. It could be the way that you pull it together and piece it together so that you're starting to, it could be one simple colour palette. You could still be having a very neutral colour palette, but it could all be based around texture. And that delivers you that trend. So it's not necessarily about saying, oh, God, I have to have this and it needs to be exactly this way.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important to create a trend for how your environment is. So
What do you mean by that?
So I've just downsized. So we sold our family home. Our kids have moved out, and so we thought that we wanted to just have a change. We weren't living in the space like we used to as a family. So we bought an apartment off the plan and have downsized. And so that brings change, because we're no longer in a classically styled Hamptons environment. We've sort of moved to a contemporary space that means you sort of need to shift direction.
Yeah.
So sometimes those life moments lead you to have to sort of re-explore trends or start afresh, and that's something that we've done. And even as a homewares buyer, as somebody involved in interiors, it's sort of, you go, right, okay, well, how do I want this to form? What do I want it to look like? How do we want to live? And you've got to start from scratch.
That's quite an exciting experience. You are your customer.
Yes. It's been a fun journey, and it's because we've had time. You buy these apartments off the plan. You've got years before they come together, so you're looking at your floor plan. You're working out, you're doing little scale drawings and working out what will fit where. And I go shopping, and you look to other retailers, and just to get inspiration from everywhere. And then you start to piece it together, and it's fun. It's fun to see it come to life.
Big thanks to Paula for that inspo. Now back to the chat. I want to hear more about Colfax and Fowler.
Yeah.
What was that like, and what stage of your career were you when you were there?
So I would have been maybe about 23, 24 at that age. So, yeah, pretty young.
Yeah.
I did that for about a year because I just felt like I wanted to, do something else in the industry and had a bit of a love for fabrics. And that was interesting. I was was on the other side of the fence actually helping interior designers put schemes together and, give them fabric books and things like that.
Good to see from the other side.
It was really interesting, and learning about fabric shipments and meterage and I still love those fabrics today. I do. Actually, I'm a bit of love those fabrics. I do. Even yesterday we had some beautiful cushions made for a client of mine in one of Colfax and Fowler's florals, and it's just those fabrics they just sew beautifully. They wear beautifully. They're always beautiful.
Do you ever order something for clients and then think, actually, let's just double the order. I'll have some for myself?
No, I wish I was like that. No, I think because every job's different.
Yeah.
I think it's the cushions and the lighting's what make a project. So, I like to just order for that particular job. But there are some brands and types of fabric that I like to use more over others. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So as a 23-year-old, how do you get into the fabric world? Because it's parallel to interior design, but
100%, yeah.
How did you get in?
So at the time, I think it was more that reps were calling on us in sort of the design world where I worked before, and I kind of knew that I kind of wanted to just step out, and do something a little bit different. And I just heard there was a job going, and I applied for it and got it, and then I did that for a year, and then I thought, oh no, I kind of want to go back into interior design, and I kind of got back into it and never left it, and it's all I know. I've also done some study in business. I've done, business courses. I did a very boring course many years ago in small business and taxation. Yes, I did. I know. Wow. How boring is that? I did a business course, 2 years ago with Stephen, that went for a long time. And I think for me, I love learning. And at the end of the day, yes, we can do interior design, but I'm running a business and, you've got to make money to survive and eat and live and all those things, which is not the glamorous side of things. So, there's no point, I think, designing something that people can't afford, that you can't turn into a transaction and that you both win. Yeah. Somebody gets a beautiful home and you make some money and everybody's happy, and that's what makes the world go round.
So would you advise to people who are either working in interior design or wanting to get into it to look at complementary studies and skills?
Absolutely. Like, I think anybody doing interior design, I think it's important to, do all the beautiful rooms and commercial fit outs and all this sort of thing. But if you can't sell your dream to somebody or your vision, then there's no point. It's just, there's no point. So I think if you can do sort of little short courses or, do not small business and taxation, but if you can do you know what I mean? If you can do things about, things that sort of are complementary or that I guess upsell or to give you a bit of spunk in what you do, I think it's really important, because I think that because I've done that, it really did help me with, understanding how a business runs and how a structure runs and what you need to do to get to the end of it sort of thing,
Exactly.
And I also think working with, lots of different people in the industry, I've had a lot of people work for me and I learn from them and go, oh, yeah, let's do that differently, or didn't see it that way, and let's bring that on board. I think it's all about, just you learn from people all the time at all different ages. You need to see things from a different perspective, and I think it's important to be like that in life, 100%. So,
who did you learn from before you started your own business?
Yeah,
who in the industry did you learn from?
The main thing for me was learning actually from the businesses I was working in. Yeah, like the people who were actually running it. I mean, I remember when I worked in Northbridge for a lovely lady. I mean, she would work such long hours. We would sometimes be there. Actually, I know people probably would not believe this, like 10, 12 o'clock at night doing schemes and putting things together. I mean, She was exhausted, you know.
Well, sometimes you have to keep going until you get it right, and you know you have a presentation deadline. And...
exactly. She was just so passionate for the cause.
Yeah.
And I think by seeing small business for what it really is and, you know, how hard these people have worked, it's just, I think it's really inspired me to be the same way.
So when did you leave the business in Northbridge, and how did you have that conversation, or how did you come to that decision?
Yeah.
Because that's a big step.
Yeah, it was a huge step. So what happened was actually the business that I worked in, I was there for maybe about 6 or 7 years, a really, really long time, you know, working as sort of the head designer there and a lot of clients and things like that. I actually purchased that business.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, from my predecessor. So that's actually how it came about. And so I was 28. And
oh, my gosh.
Yeah, 28. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this. I feel that this is the right journey for me.
So if you purchase an interior design business, what does that look like? What is the business that you buy?
So you buy the goodwill and, you know, like computers and, pretty much the clientele. And I purchased the name and then obviously I had to, you know, fix up paperwork and things like that and pretty much, took it on as my own and then ran that under that sort of umbrella for about for a little while, maybe about 7 years, and then decided to rebrand. I was time to have my own name, and then Studio Trio came about, and pretty much Studio Trio or Studio Trio means design, source, build. So that's pretty much our core thing of what we do. I had sort of a PR company come in and help me with that.
That's the meaning behind the name.
That's the meaning behind the name. People think, is there 3 of you? There's 3 of me on a daily basis, 100%, 3 personalities, 3 things. But yeah, pretty much that's what we do. We design it, we source how to do it, and then we like to execute it and build it. And that's pretty much what our whole ethos is and what we're about. Work with some wonderful people, and people are there to help you, you know, like that's the thing. So I think if anyone's starting out in the industry, you know, and they're getting into it, you know, just ask questions and just be like a sponge, absorb things, and it's okay to start at the bottom and work your way up. And actually sometimes people respect that more, I think.
I think it's a great way to learn, because 100%. I imagine if you go into a job that perhaps you don't have all the experience behind you, there's a lot of pressure there because you're expected to perform, but
100%.
Maybe you don't have the skills yet. So working your way up.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Working your way up, doing extra courses in sales, or, you know, just doing things that are a little bit unrelated to what you do, you know, or like I've done a social media course before, or you know, just little things like that. I think anything like that, it doesn't mean you're going to do it, but it opens up your mind to things to go, all right, well, that's how they do it, or you know. So I think it's good to keep on top of things.
Coming up, our mystery drawer moment and more with Lauren. It's all new, so stick with us and see what happens. Oz Design is all about making your home look good and feel even better. This season's collection brings together natural textures, warm timbers, and clean modern lines. The kind of timeless style that fits any space. Each piece is made to last and easy to mix and match, whether you're giving one room a refresh or styling your whole home. It's thoughtful design that feels relaxed but still refined. Check out the collection online or head in store today. So a bit of a subject change. We were talking before about something called postcoding. I hadn't heard this term before. Tell us what it is, and then I'd love to know, do you experience it in your line of work?
100%. And
what is
postcoding? So we do experience it 100%. And so what it is, it's when trades, not trying to say trades do this, but I'll give you an example. One of my clients got a dishwasher fixed the other day and it wasn't fixed, and she had somebody come out and I said to her, well, how much did he charge you? You know, because she was worried because it was an integrated dishwasher and it's in a beautiful kitchen I did for her. And you know, she told me, and I felt like she got ripped off, you know. And I was sort of like, you know, she was in an affluent suburb, and I'm sort of like, well, he postcoded you, you know. It's because you live in an affluent area, and they think that you're going to pay more and take a little bit of advantage of you, and that's not right, you know. I don't think that's right. It doesn't matter where you live. Everyone should get charge the same amount of call out and the same thing for it. So I helped her out.
You could be mortgaged to the hilt.
Absolutely, So I helped her out and gave her a contact and someone I knew, and they came out and were a lot less expensive and fixed the issue, and I said to her, you totally got postcoded. So for me, I don't like people being postcoded. And for me, I don't like postcoding.
Me either. Let's talk about your style.
So, my style.
And specifically your home. So in Home Beautiful, we love a home tour. I know we've done a home tour with you.
Yep.
But for the exercise of a vodcast, let's do the audio home tour. So we come to your front door and we open the door.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you see?
Definitely not my doorbell.
No. Now, if you're missing that reference, go back to our previous podcast with Lauren and you will find out all about the doorbell.
So, look, our house is a 1913 Federation home. Mm-hmm. Look, I would say that my style is very classic, but it's got a bit of a modern edge. A little bit of a modern edge. I like things a little bit glamorous. I like a little bit of a wow factor.
Yeah.
And I love colour.
Yep.
I love contrast. So you'll probably see in our home I've got really fresh white walls. I actually do like a white wall.
Yes, same. I love a white wall.
I love a white wall. I do. I just think
no shame in it.
No, I do. It's always just classic and fresh and always doesn't look dirty.
You have a coloured kitchen.
I have a coloured kitchen. Yeah, I love that colour.
What colour is it?
So that's actually Taubmans Double Grey. So it's actually it's almost like a French blue grey. It's quite a grey.
It reads blue sometimes.
It does a little. It's funny when you look at it in certain lights, it looks grey, and other lights it looks blue.
Yeah.
So our house, it's not Federation, but it's very, very classic and sympathetic to the architecture. Mm-hmm. But it's got this kind of modern take on it.
So if I'm sitting in your home, what does it sound like? What can I hear?
Because we live in quite a leafy suburb, so we're in heritage conservation area. You can hear, birds. We have a beautiful landscape backyard.
Yeah.
So we've got beautiful birds that come into our backyard because of lovely gorgeous trees and things like that. But you can hear the city because we're in the west. You can hear the city. You can hear things going on. The tone of our house, though, once you're inside of it's very quiet.
Yeah.
We have 3.2 metre ceilings from the front door to the back door. We're a northern facing aspect. That's something I'm a bit of a stickler with. Even if I built another house, I'll have another house north aspect, 100% to the back of the house.
Incredible.
Fresh walls, dark floors. It's funny, dark floors are interesting because they're in fashion, they're not in fashion, but to me, I think they look fabulous. They just do. Against white walls, they just look fabulous.
How do you feel about trends? Because it's something that we report on, and I think it's important to share the trends, but I believe you do you.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I'm not really a trend person. I think that, I've got into sort of houses where the bathroom's maybe 30 years old and it's Carrara and it still looks gorgeous, I mean, okay, it's tired and it's time to renovate it, but it's funny, that sort of stone is still timeless today. So for me, I don't really follow trends. I love classic design, and I think when you've got beautiful, classic, timeless design, it just goes forever. I don't really do trends. I just think, you get inspired by them. And,
definitely.
You do
play with them a bit.
Yeah, you do in our house we have a couple of arches and I think, okay, fine, that was definitely, a thing and it still is. Yeah. And I thought, I'll.
But arches
and it works, but they're old fashioned too,
They've trended for centuries.
Yeah, they have, absolutely.
I think we're good.
Absolutely. I think we're good, but that's about as trendy as I probably get.
What does your home smell like? Be honest.
Yeah, okay, I'll be honest. So this is the full down-to-earth person coming out of me. So in our kitchen, we actually have incense.
Yep.
It's a funny thing, because I was a child of the 90s.
Yeah.
Incense were very big in the 90s. I'm showing my age.
They sure were.
And I used to burn them a lot in the 90s, so it's weird. I burn nice French ones now. It's just something that, I don't know, I put them on after I've cooked dinner, just so it can smell nice, and it sort of
what a good idea.
It cuts the smell out. Yeah, and it smells nice, but it just reminds, I don't know, when I've had a hard day at work or something and I put them on after I've cooked dinner, I don't know what it is. It's the smell of it just takes me back to the 90s. It takes me back to, it just grounds me, So I've got beautiful French incense. So I burn a lot of incense. I have a lot of candles. I'm a big candle person, so a lot of candles on in our house.
Do you have any favourite scents?
I love manual canvas candles. They're beautiful. I actually love Byredo from Mecca.
I don't know how to say it either.
I
Love the brand.
Oh, that brand, that is the best candle. It lasts so long. Yeah, so my house smells beautiful. I think, yeah. And eucalyptus spray. So for garbage bins, you could buy eucalyptus spray and actually just spray around, and it actually, it smells really nice. So
those are good tips.
Yeah, so there you go.
So the kitchen smells.
Yeah.
I know you love to cook.
Yeah, I do.
If I were to come over, open to invitations. Just saying.
You can come over anytime, Elle.
What would you feed me?
What would I cook you? So I did do you know what? Gourmet Traveller. I'm a huge fan of Gourmet Traveller.
Yeah.
I have followed that magazine for ever. They had on the front cover probably about 2 years ago, if you like oysters.
Love.
And they do it with Japanese yuzu.
Oh.
And an echalot.
If you make that, I would move in.
Okay, so I would probably maybe start with that. And I don't know, I can make Asian. I love a Donna Hay, really easy, puff pastry.
Yeah.
It's in her seasons cookbook. It's so simple.
Okay.
And it's puff pastry, 2 layers. And what you do, you put it in the oven and you let it just for 20 minutes so it softens. And then you put that on the cool down, put it on the puff pastry. Goat's cheese over the top of it, and baby spinach.
Yum.
And then you close it up. And then you just pierce it, and then you put just egg wash over the top of it, and then you just serve that with a beautiful salad.
Delicious.
And maybe I might make some homemade garlic bread. I don't know. I just make sure you go, and we could have gelato Messina afterwards.
I'll wear my stretchy pants.
Okay, done. And good red wine. Good red wine.
Essential.
So the best red wine is Peterson's from Mudgee.
Okay.
It's my favourite.
Peterson's from Mudgee.
Yeah, that's my favourite. So I was having a meltdown because there was no wine in the house last week, and I ordered 14 bottles to my office. So that's coming. So
As
you
you
can have
do.
a bottle of Peterson's with me. So there you go.
So, Lauren, we've had a tour of your house.
Yes.
Except for the mystery drawer. So last time you brought in 3 doorbells and told us about a 4th. What have you brought today? What else is there in your mystery drawer?
Okay, so I promise you I've not brought anything crazy today. I brought something actually quite sweet.
Oh.
So I am a sentimental person. No, I am. But I wouldn't say I have a lot of family photos in our house. I'm not, I don't know, funny thing about interior designers, they don't have lots of family photos anywhere. But I do have one photo, and funnily enough, even that's not of our daughter. So I actually have a photo of my husband and I when we got married. I know, which is probably such a typical thing.
That is
but only because I don't really have
beautiful.
any photos at all in our house. I only have this one photo. And yeah, I just, I think, because we have our business together and Stephen works with me, and it's now become our business, I think it's just a lovely reminder that, we've achieved so many things together, and we have a daughter together, and a beautiful house together that we've built and kind of gone through all of the renovation stuff. Yeah, so this is a photo of Stephen and I. We actually got married at the Carriage Works. So what we did,
When did you get married? Because that is so cool.
2017 we got married, and we actually at the beginning we wanted to hire out Fairground Follies, which was in St. Peter's. It's actually old merry-go-rounds and old French.
I had no idea that's there.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm a bit kind of quirky like that. It's like old merry-go-rounds and I don't know what they're called, but you throw balls at the circus, balls. So and then this guy's old kind of stash of really cool weird sort of playground things. And at the time they were thinking of tearing the building down, so he cancelled us. And I said to Stephen, if there's anywhere I want to go to the Carriage Works, because I'm a heritage lover and I love old things. And at that time they were sometimes allowing weddings to take place only for a year, and somebody cancelled and we took it. So we actually got married at the Carriage Works in Redfern, and we hired out the room, and I had a really cool photographer, Lara Holtz, and I was we were in White magazine, which is kind of a bit of an indie kind of cool bespoke wedding magazine. And that was Stephen and I actually got up on the ledge of the Carriage Works. Sorry, Carriage Works, if you're listening to this, I probably won't allow to sit on that. And had a photo taken on this beautiful industrial window. And it's just, I think the thing is, I think for us, I think because I love heritage, and I think because it was in the inner west where we live, and I think because we're husband and wife and we run this business together, it's just a really lovely reminder of who we are and where we've come from. And my dress, I have to mention who my dress was made by.
You have to.
It was actually French grey, which is actually like the colour of my kitchen. It wasn't white. Yeah, I didn't get married in white. And I had my dress made by Paolo Sebastian, who is incredible. He's in Adelaide, so I flew to Adelaide. And I didn't even look anywhere. I had to have it made by him.
You just knew.
I just knew. I got on the plane and went, right, you're making my dress. And it was French grey and pink flowers, and was really, really beautiful. Yeah, so that's that photo, Elle.
And tell me about the frame.
So the frame's actually Ralph Lauren.
Oh, fancy.
So we're a bit down to earth, and then it's Ralph Lauren. And I bought it like from Palmer and Penn, I think, like years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's probably a bit tarnished and dusty because I've just quickly pulled it off our bedside. But it's just, it's a Ralph Lauren frame. I love the colour and the style of it, and it's the only photo I have in our house. And I just think it means a lot to me and Stephen, and that's what that is. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now, Laura, next I'm going to bring out my phone because we have been sent a little dilemma from one of our readers. Ooh. And I think you're just the person to help solve it.
Okay.
So Samantha says, I want my space to feel like me, but I don't know how or where to start or how to avoid costly mistakes. She says, how can I be my own interior designer without feeling lost or overwhelmed? Okay. As you're an interior designer, I feel you are best placed to answer this question.
Well, firstly, I'd say sorry, Samantha, that you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
That's not good. It's overwhelming too. And I think, if you're doing something yourself, I think probably my best advice would be whatever you're doing, just break it down. So what I would say is, say you're working on your lounge room and you want to decorate your lounge room, just work on that. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't go to other parts of the house. Just do one project and then move on. Probably what I'd say to you is just go onto Pinterest, and I think start to like sort of pin things that you like, that you would like your lounge room to be like.
Yeah.
And then once you've sort of done that and sort of got something together that you think, yep, that's me, that's how I want it to look, then you need to start breaking down elements. So perhaps you might start with the curtains or the Roman blinds. You might start with the sofas. What's your biggest ticket item that you want to get bought straight away?
Yeah.
Is it the sofa? I think start with that. Then start researching, well, it's that particular classic style sofa. What budget have I got and who sells that look, And you can start to then narrow down, what is it that I'm looking for, and start that way. And then, then get into the scatter cushions and who has those, or where can I get those from? What colours am I inspired by? So I think the thing is, don't get overwhelmed, try not to tackle the whole house, and try and do a project at a time, and try and think of it in a very logical manner, and try and break it down and give yourself little jobs and projects to do, and eventually you'll get there and get it ticked off, and always refer back to your Pinterest board or your style guide to see, because you might change your mind along the way too when you see something, and don't do that. Try and stick to the plan. So if it's navy blue and white cushions that you're after for that navy blue and white look, stick with the plan. Just don't digress and go off and get terracotta in there. So you know what I mean? Just try and stick on the path. So that would be my advice to you, and try not to get overwhelmed and tackle the whole thing at once. Just little bites.
Break it down. Little bites, one edit 100%, at a time.
100%. Yeah.
Lauren, thank you so much for joining us again, your second time on the VOD. We love having you on.
Thank you.
And for sharing so much great advice for people wanting to launch their own interior design careers. I think it's been incredible to hear your story.
Yeah, thank you.
And how you started, how you moved around into different industries, and then came into buying and then building your own business.
Yeah, thank you, Elle. Thank you very much to yourself and to Home Beautiful and to the readers for following us in your beautiful magazine. And thank you very much for having me today. And I think it's nice to do things like this because it opens up people's minds to not be so scared to ring an interior designer, and also to, hopefully my advice helps inspire people, just to break things down and take a job at a time, and you'll get there. And, design's a beautiful thing, and it's got to suit you, and you've got to be happy with it and love it forever. So, thank you very much for having me, Elle. Thank you for today.
A pleasure. Wasn't that amazing advice from Lauren? I am having so much fun on our brand new VOD, The Edit by Home Beautiful. I hope you are too. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. If there's anything that you'd like to hear or have something to share, leave your comments in the show notes, and we will see you again next week. Bye! This episode is brought to you by Luxaflex, transforming homes with beautiful, functional window coverings designed to transform your light and lifestyle. Thank you to Oz Design for our beautiful set. Come and visit the Experience team in store and see the collection for yourself.
This is an R Media podcast.